I agree. Alright. Should be live.
Excellent.
It should be on the channel, on my channel.
Did you share a link to Facebook?
Yeah, we're live. All right. Roger's in the house.
Roger that.
All right. Well, that happened. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing out there? Thank you all so much for joining us. I am Andy. That is Greg. And above us, we have Dan. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing tonight?
Good, man. Greetings from Canada, Greg. Greg's in Canada, Andy.
Yeah, you guys are both. I'm outnumbered tonight, huh? Hey?
The Snow Mexicans.
The Lone Star State, man.
Awesome. So,
hey, was that a Pop Can Dan can, by the way?
well, you know, it kind of looks like it. In my green screen, you can't see it, but I thought about that the other day, too. What's up, Getter Doug? How's it going, Roger and Marty? What's going on, guys? Thanks for hopping on, everybody. We do have a good show for you tonight. We got some good topics to cover. So first things first, what we're going to talk about tonight before we move on with the other topics is Mr. Pop Can Dan. But before we do that, Greg, how was your week?
Oh, it's been insane, boys. It's been nuts at work and just trying to keep on top of the file. How about you guys?
Actually, I know it's been pretty crazy because every time I talk to you, you were like, "Oh, sorry, man, I'm busy at work. I got something going on." How was your week? How's your week been, Dan?
Very good. Very busy, though. I've been very, very busy. Trying to turn on the detector and get 5 minutes has been a bit of a challenge, but I try wherever I can. So.
Well, that's it. And you just put up a video, guys. If you haven't checked out his channel, it's hold on. Let me just do this. Let's just pop this on real quick. All right. Let me put that up for you. It is Pop Can Dan on YouTube. So Dan McDonnell, right?
Yeah, McDonnell.
All right. Dan McDonnell, Pop Can Dan on YouTube. Go subscribe. Great channel. He's really fun, really silly. Him and DJ Dowling, Redbeard Relic Hunter. They do a lot of detecting together, make a lot of fun videos. It's a pretty good time watching their videos. It's definitely entertaining, wouldn't you say?
Well, you gotta have fun. You gotta have fun doing it, man.
Yeah.
I just find there's too many uptight people out there. Yeah. They get angry. The more fun I have, the more angrier they get at me.
Oh, I bet. And then you always got DJ on your butt, throwing something at you or messing with you. What did he do? What was it the other day he did to you? He made you think there was a cache, or was it you, or how'd that go?
Yeah. he said he found a bottle dump, and he called me over. He said, "Here, help me dig this, man. There's all kinds of stuff." So I started digging. He had planted a bottle just under where I was about to dig, and I put an old bottle, and I pulled it out, and it looked like there was like a paper inside, like a note, and all kinds of coins and dirt. And I started shaking, and I was like, "There's coins in there!" I was freaking out. And then I realized though that they were actually modern pennies. If you had to put a couple of large cents in there, I would have been sold for sure. He would have got me big time. He still got me. Then I had to read this letter while he was filming me. It was pretty embarrassing, but he got me good. It was a great prank.
Now this happens often, right? this happens quite often. He messes with you like that, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, you know what you don't see is I get him a lot though.
Yeah, he don't put that on his videos.
What's that?
He don't put that on his videos, then, does he?
No, I had one of my videos. I went up behind him with an air horn while he was on his hands and knees, and I blew it right in his ear. I thought for sure he soiled his underwear. It was the best.
That's funny. So Dan, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, you know, where you from, what metal detector you swing, and all that good stuff. Give us the rundown.
Sure, man. I'm just outside of Toronto, just a little east of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Kind of out in the rural area, farmland. So there's lots of good detecting out here. I've been detecting. This is an anniversary. This is my 25th year detecting.
Dude.
Yeah, I started in 1994. I got my first detector in '94, and I never really got serious about it until about 6 years ago.
Really?
And yeah, so I've gone through many detectors. I had a White's at the beginning. I went to a Fisher. I went to a Technetics. Then I went to a Garrett H250. Currently, I swing a Garrett HT Pro. And it looks like I'm maybe being swayed a little by the dark side to move over to the other side too. So we'll see how that goes.
I was
That's a gold word. That's the unmentionable word.
Yeah. Hey, honestly though, I thought you.
Unless it happens.
I honestly thought that you had you were you also swang the Mind Lab too, but I guess not, huh?
No, I don't have a Mind Lab.
Oh, okay. All right.
Not yet.
Not yet. You're going to.
Not yet.
You're going to. Yeah.
We're still waiting on the Redbeard promo code, 50% off.
We're waiting on the free Redbeard promo code, 100% off. No, honestly, I've never swung the Equinox, and I obviously we've all heard it's a great, wondrous, magical machine that finds treasure upon treasure upon treasure. So yeah, I want to try it too. So
yeah, I mean, if I had the fundage, I probably would buy one. But you never know. The Amphibio, not that machine is it's beauty. It's great.
It is. Go ahead.
That's a macro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was asked by Canadian Treasure Seekers to do a little test there when they first got their first unit in. It is awesome. I found like a 50% coin, whatever, with it, and a bunch of stuff. Like when I lived in Sarnia, there was a big like ball field and soccer field kind of park behind my house, and like I went over an area that I hammered with both Garrett machines that I've had, and it was still fine and good stuff.
Nice.
So,
yeah.
Can't beat that.
That's what I swing. I swing the Amphibio as well, and it is a great machine. You know, I've never had the Equinox, so I can't compare the two. But I do know that the Amphibio is probably one of the best machines I've ever owned. Yeah.
I just like how robust it feels. I mean, to me, I think it has a little bit of weight to it, but it is killer. And honestly, if it fell over, off of a tree stump or whatever while you were digging something, it's not going to break.
No, it's very sturdy. It's built very strong. It has a whole ton of features. I'm talking, dude, it has 9 menu options, 9 settings, and 9 different search modes. I mean, you can do a million things with it. So
That's awesome. Is it waterproof?
Yep, to 16 and a half feet. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so it's
breath and get down that far, Andy.
Dude, I have asthma. I can't even hold my breath 10 minutes, dude. 10 seconds, dude. I really can't. My asthma will not let me do that. So, Dan, tell us, what are some of the things you like to search for? You like field hunting? You like private permissions? You like parks? What's your favorite?
I like it all. I mean, Redbeard was the one that got me really into permissions and relics. Before that, before I met him, I was mostly like the guy on the beach, And he really got me out into the field and onto private permissions, and I fell in love with it. I absolutely did. But I do also do a lot of water hunting, especially when I go camping. I do a lot of snorkeling and underwater stuff as well. And then I finally got a GoPro, so I'm going to be able to film that stuff this summer.
Awesome. You'd be like Steve Zazulek over here, huh? Another Canadian diver, eh?
Listen, man, nobody is Steve Zazulek, but
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got some absolutely amazing finds, and it's just really cool to see some of that stuff come out of the water. And it's just comes out in pristine condition, like it's it's amazing. Yeah. So,
hey, I see that Roger's Pizza's done. I wonder if he's going to deliver.
Is he delivering to Canada now? I didn't know that.
I don't know. You better not expect a tip when he gets here. It's going to be cold.
So let's say hey to some people in the chat before we go on, guys. We got Mike Kudik. What's up, Mike? How you doing, brother? Nice to see you in there. Roger, obviously. We got Al Highslip. What's going on, brother? Cousin Jeff, how are you doing, my friend? Getter Doug's in here and Marty's in here. Welcome, everybody. I know we just, we're just hanging out, doing a little Fast Five chatting. Thank you guys for hopping on.
Yeah. Hey, Roger's trying to pin me down about all these funny videos that I send him on Facebook Messenger. Like that lady who can grip the beer can backwards, like, ugh.
What? Like this?
One. Yeah, like her hand folds backwards, she can grab a can in here.
do that again. That was funny. Yeah. Yeah, well, you are that one friend that whenever you send an attachment, I'm like, I don't know, I don't want to open this. I don't want to open this.
Andy, you are so right, man. Every time Greg sends me something, especially on Messenger, I panic. I'm like, oh no. I even commented the other day. I said, I don't know why. Every time it's like a car wreck. I still have to watch it.
I know.
I don't think you guys even some of the worst stuff, man.
Don't. Jeez, don't do it, dude. Don't do it. So, seriously, Greg, what's going on, man? Let's talk about this this dig the other day you did, the mystery coin. So, first off. If you guys haven't, I'm going to show the video in just a second, okay? So just give me a second. We'll do that. But Greg, give us a rundown of where you were and what was going on over there.
All right, so like everybody, when you have kids, your time is very limited. So, in the evenings after the kids go down to sleep, I sneak out, and I'm very fortunate. One of the nicest parks in town. Honestly, if there was no houses, I could drive a golf ball and land it on the middle of this park. Like, I'm that close to it, so I walk to it all the time. And actually, it was in episode 1 of the Southern Ontario Digger series there, where it's in that grassy area in between all those mansions. And it's about the size of a football field. It's probably a soccer field or whatever you want to call it, whether you're in the UK or Canada or whatever. But yeah, this place, I've been pounding this place. We found and everything in there, and I don't know, it's awesome. So I snuck out. I went to a little corner at the back where I don't usually hunt, just because there was a ton of penny signals there at one time, and I just got sick of digging them. So I stuck towards the front. We've had some good luck there. Actually, you know what, Andy, roll the tape there, and then we can we'll talk about it again.
Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna run the tape, and then we will. Let me get that ready. Somebody said there was some echo going on, and I'm like, what the heck?
It did for a sec. I think it was like rasterizing or something between our chat here.
Well, I turned off the desktop audio completely because I figured that's what it was, but I'm going to turn it back on, so hopefully we don't get no echo when this is happening.
It happened a little bit just there. It's like you sounded like a robot for a second.
Are you serious? Or are you telling me? Are you messing with me?
Oh, you're good now. It must just be that when it comes on and off.
Hold on. Gotta get rid of all that stuff. I have a couple things on that scene. So, all right, we're gonna run that.
Hey guys, hope everybody is doing well. I'm in my 1800s park near my house, and I just dug a really odd coin-like thing. I just wanted to go live and show you guys. If anybody knows what this is, like, it was not super deep, but it's just really odd. It didn't look like anything new. I would say it was maybe
Andy, Scott, how you doing, boys? Yeah, I don't know. Any idea? Ever seen anything like that before? I honestly thought it was a quarter, but that's just throwing me off. I'll have to hit it with a toothbrush or something and get it cleaned up. I don't know what that is. Super odd.
Hey, Andy, everyone's saying they lost their sound.
I don't know, like it isn't.
I fixed it. I don't know which
flag
one was what. People are saying echo, and I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't.
Oh, sorry, my camera keeps going out of focus here. But Andy, I don't know. It doesn't even look like letters, from what I can tell. I don't know. It actually looks. I can get it a little bigger looking on the phone here, but I don't know. What's your thoughts? Pretty crazy.
You know, Scott and Kimmy, I asked you, I sent that picture to you, so you could thought maybe you might know.
Is, but I guess we shall see if anyone's seen one of these before. But when I get home, I might have to Google that. So I don't know. Pretty cool. Thanks for tuning in, boys.
So look at that. You guys are watching that, right, Greg? You guys can see that. So you see those two coins. Okay, first things first. I wish I could highlight like what I'm pointing at with my mouse. But that deer right there, that is a definite deer. And from every bit of research I seen or came up with, it looks like a Viking deal, right? So Greg, you said you heard or you looked, you had sent some stuff out. So how'd it go? What happened after you received a coin and we were trying to figure out what it was?
All right, so I mean, everyone had their speculations. I posted to the Canadian detecting forum up here, and it's been a whirlwind. Kind of, it was a really exciting time for me because I had just never found anything odd like this before. Like, I guess really in the first place, I was kind of thinking it could have been like a Game of Thrones, Monopoly piece or something. Like, I don't watch that show, which I probably should. But I mean, I thought it was something stupid like that. But then, like looking at it, it's too well to be new. Like, so what I ended up doing was I talked to Mr. Gary Drayton. He had no idea. He was interested though. He's like, "Wow, I've never seen anything like that. Let me know what you find out." So I happen to have Laird Niven on Facebook as well, so I messaged him, just being out on the East Coast and stuff too, that's where all the really old stuff is. So I messaged him and I said, "Hey buddy, thanks for being my friend here, and I'm nerding out a little bit, but have you seen anything like this before?" And he said no, and he didn't really say too much. He's like, oh, you should talk to Redbeard. I was like, oh, thanks. Thanks for the tip. But no, I sent the screen cap of that to DJ. He was loving it. And well, anyway, I emailed a museum here in Toronto. It's called the ROM, the Royal Ontario Museum. They must be too snooty to get back to me. I haven't heard back from them. But all my research that I did online, everything with the stag and the little, I'm guessing it's a serpent, was like a Viking coin. So I'm like, what is this? Like, it's,
they call that a Reich deer, right?
Yeah, it like mine faces towards the left, and all the Viking ones seem to face to the right.
Mm-hmm.
Like something like is just not right here, but I didn't know what was up, right? So I ended up looking it up, and I think it's Copenhagen. They have a Viking museum there. So I was able to get a hold of the curator there. I emailed him. I sent him pictures of both sides. I said, hey, like, I don't know what this is. It looks like some of your coins. Can you help me out? So, like, within a few hours, he emailed me back and said, I don't know a ton about this. I'll pass you off to a colleague. So the next day, his colleague, who is like a specialist in, prehistory, I think he called it. There was some like English translation that I don't think was 100% correct, but he believes that it's a reproduction of some sort, but was going to pass it on to another lady who specialized in coin. And I haven't heard from her yet, but I mean, I don't know. Personally, I mean, the ground around our town here was all oil fields and oil wells and everything. So all the dirt was all dug up and moved. So it would be insane to find something like this here. But I don't think it would be unreasonable. Like I'm a few minutes from the Great Lakes, right? That whole system that comes into southern Ontario. So it's very possible that the Vikings were here. So, I mean, I'm not in the middle of Alberta. That would be different.
But no pirates in Alberta.
No, definitely not. Maybe Redbeard if he takes Sunwing or something, but...
Hunter's Kimmy and Clodhopper Scott said Celtic. But here's the thing about it though, Greg, and I know me and Dan talked about it too. I'm not 100% positive that it isn't a legit real find. That you said that they said, well, it's probably more than likely a reproduction, but excuse me, in my eyes, and from what I've seen, that generally if something is reproduced, you could find it on the internet reproduced. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing. I haven't seen nothing on this.
No. Are you able to put the photo of it back up there so I can explain something?
Yeah. Let me do that real quick.
Because just holding it here, you're not going to be able to see.
Yeah, for sure. Let me put it back up, and I'll switch it back over real quick. All right, and so there we go. It's back up.
Okay, I'm just waiting for it to load up here for in a second.
Yeah.
Nice stinger transition, buddy.
Sweet, eh?
Yeah.
That was smooth.
Okay, so on the right-hand side, you see the cross, obviously, in the middle.
Right.
But that border, we'll call it capital Y's, okay? I can't find anything like that anywhere. And my buddy Steve Loxton, he's like a historian from our town here, whatever, and knows a lot about the local history. He was right into it too, helping me look and do whatever. And he spent quite some time too looking. And that like inner border or wreath or whatever you want to call that, I cannot find anything about that. I've had a couple people say Celtic, and then there's some people that say, oh, it looks Russian or Scandinavian or all this other stuff. But like, I'm clueless. Like, still looking at it, I can't even, like, I don't know.
Greg, nobody can see that.
Even if it is a reproduction, it's got to be from the 1800s at least. You know what I mean? Because in theory, this town was built up in like 1860s, 1870s, right? That's 1,000 years after Vikings.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a mind boggler. And honestly, I choose to believe that it's real.
I know, and there's something that I don't feel like we have a definitive answer. You know what I mean? Just because someone hasn't seen one before, like this very well may not be a Danish coin.
Well, I think, and like I said, and I honestly think it's real. And the most compelling evidence for me that says this is a real find, not a reproduction of any kind, is that I can't find it anywhere. And I mean, I've searched. I have searched, and I've searched a couple hours. You know, like it's not even my coin. You know?
Yeah, I know. I had a ton of people posting on like the UK like hammered coin sites and all this, and it was awesome. Like, what do you think, Dan? Like, what would you do? Would you still look into it further?
I don't know, man. I mean, for me, I still, whether it's old or it's not old, or even if it's 1800s, that is such an amazing coin, and the fact that you found it, you should be so excited. You know what I mean?
Oh, like, I'm so stoked.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You know what? If it's in your possession, there's nothing wrong with still throwing it out there online and trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, that's the other thing. Like, honestly, if this was like a doubloon or something that you bought at a shop in Florida or something, it would be unreal. But like, I guess I'll admit this. Okay, people are gonna give me shit. Once I was told by the Danish Museum that it was probably a reproduction. There's a tiny little spot on the edge here that I kind of carved off a tiny bit just to see.
The part that said "Made in China."
I wish. At least I would know. But no, and it turned up like a bright gold color. So I don't really know. I'm guessing it's copper, but the tones on the front are just really gold. That's what I don't understand. But it rings up at 80 on the AT Max, so I'm guessing it's copper or bronze.
If I could say one more thing about that, Greg, when you found it, the feeling you had when you found that coin, whether it's real or wasn't real, that feeling you had that feeling, and nobody can take that away from you. That's awesome.
Oh, I know. And a lump in the pants, too. No one could take that away but me.
There we go. So that guy's offside, man.
Honestly, though, Greg, he is totally right, man. He's right, dude. That feeling you found, that sheer excitement in your gut, that's what we do it for anyway. Man, that's what it's about, dude. So when you found it, you couldn't reproduce that feeling, whether it's fake or real. That's something that only happens,
I've talked to a couple older guys that live in the mansions over there, and honestly, they're probably sitting there just laughing. If they were to plant this last year, I never would have known.
Well, who cares if they're laughing? Who cares? Because you know what, he's right. If to you, that's all that matters, man. So.
But check this out. This whole front page here is all coins I found out of that park.
You busted, dude.
Oh, sorry. Wait. Yeah.
Nice.
All these coins I found are out of that park. Like I have Indians. I found an 1875 German penny. I'm just trying to think. A couple fishies. I got a dragon slayer. Oh, and that's
my bucket lister, Greg. My bucket lister.
Oh man, they're killer to find. I love those. I got quite a few. And actually, I found that's the coin right there from episode 1, the 1836 large cent.
Oh, is that the episode 1 of Southern Ontario Diggers?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good series.
It's been a great little park, and I got a 1904 fishy out of there the other night again. So it's getting pretty quiet over there now, though.
Well, there's more to be found. You get that amphibio, you'll be hitting it real hard. So
we'll try it. We'll see what we can do.
Get that drone in the air, Greg. Get that drone up there, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Treasure seeker attachment.
So, all right, Greg. As awesome as your find is, we've got to move on.
Yes, let's move on.
We've got to move on, even though it's a sweet find and it's really worthy of talking about. But we got to move on. So, the next topic at hand is the hold on, I'm gonna switch it. It's the Thieves Among Us. Thieves Among Us. All right, and honestly, guys, that's this is a very upsetting thing. It's a real deal, and it's tragic that it happened within our community, but it did. So. I don't know if you guys have heard. I'm sure you have. It's been shared over I don't know how many thousands of times of metal detecting stuff. The shop down in Texas, they got robbed, and they had what it was. And I got an email from the owner because I reached out to him and I wanted to let him know, for one, that I was going to bring it up on the show. Okay, and two, I wanted to see if he could give me a little bit of the backstory, like what happened, and so he sent me an email back. I'm gonna switch this over, and I'm gonna put up the pictures, and then I'll read the email. So this happened in Texas, and let me get this here. So right up there's the pictures. These guys came in and stole $15,000 worth of retail items. Here's the email I've received from Wayne up there, or down there in Texas. He says, Saturday at 11 p.m., 2 males broke into the metal detecting stuff store in Woodland, Texas. They stole the following equipment: 1 Minelab CTX 3030 in the box, 4 Minelab Equinox 800s in the box, 1 Minelab Excalibur 2 out of the box, 1 White's MX Sport out of the box, 1 XP Deus 22R CWS4, 4 Garrett AT Max out of the box, 1 Minelab Go Find 44 out of the box, 1 Garrett AT Gold out of the box, 1 Fisher F19 out of the box, and 1 Fisher 1266X out of the box. He said, all manufacturers are notified to watch for these units to be registered or repaired. Please have your fans watch Craigslist, Let Go, OfferUp, and Facebook Marketplace for new or out-of-the-box detectors for sale. They can contact Metal Detecting Stuff at 832-928-9135. That's 832-928-9135. You can also go to their Facebook page. Metal Detecting Stuff is their page. You can go to metaldetectingstuff.com and contact them that way. But so those two guys right there, look at him. He's carrying out 4. You can tell those are the Equinox 800s right there, carrying them right out. It's got him in his arm. You know what he told me? So not only that, he said, not only that, but he told me that let me switch this back over. So he told me that the guy had walked out and forgot that he left his crowbar in the building. Went back in to look for the crowbar, couldn't find it because it was dark. But on his way out, he grabbed a CTX 3030. That's what happened. It's unreal.
Sorry, that was my son.
Pop can dandies in the forest.
My son just walked by with a stormtrooper helmet on.
Nice. I missed it. Darn. We just got bombed.
Can I ask you a quick question? Do you think these guys are detectorists, or do you think, because it looks to me like when they went in that store, they knew exactly where they were going. They've been in there before.
Well, see, here's the thing, because when I was talking to Wayne, I asked him the same thing. I said, so do we think that these guys are actually, they detect or what? He said they had to know something about detecting, whether they do or not, or they were doing it for somebody, They had to know something because they knew which machines to grab. You know what I'm saying?
They
knew which
base 250s or something, right?
Right. They knew to grab the Equinoxes. They knew to grab the 3030. They knew to grab the Deus and the Maxes. You know, they didn't grab the whites or the. No offense to whites, but you know what I'm saying. They didn't grab the lower end model machines.
Lower end.
So they knew what they were doing. Now, he said that he don't think that they had personally been in there before because they didn't case the place very well. Obviously, because if you look, they are clearly not even hiding their faces or anything. They weren't aware of camera shots or where the cameras were. I just put it back up on a screen, but so
that's just a terrible criminal. Like, how stupid can you be? I mean, I would never steal anything, but at least you should prepare. You know, you're an idiot. Everyone has cameras now. You can't, walk down the street. Even houses have them now.
That's what I'm saying.
It looks like they came from a patio after a few beers and just went right in there.
I mean, look at him. He's clearly grabbing.
What if you had to go and, start running? You'd be screwed.
I mean, in this picture, he even looks like he's like, is this the right one? Like he's like checking to make sure he's getting the right ones off his list. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy, this picture, he looks like he's holding a letter, but it's really the shelf there. He's like, I got to pass this to my boss. but it's just the shelf behind him. It's not even funny, but it's what's funny. I mean, it's upsetting that actually happened.
It's terrible. I mean, I guess in my area, it's really... I mean, there's the odd, someone will steal an ATV, but like, it's not, stores don't get broken into and have all of their stuff taken. Like, that just doesn't happen here.
No, I mean, not like that here either. I mean, and if they do, they get caught. But see what I'm leaning toward the idea, and I think somebody said it, that they're just drug addicts, and they somehow needed or knew somebody that would give them some sort of money for this, and and they went and got it, and that's what they did, and
well, I mean, that's the sad part too. I mean, like the thing is, I would think that anyone who may buy something from these guys is going to know it's hot. You're not going to pay retail out of a guy's trunk, right? So I guess you could hope that something happened where they would send it into return, not thinking about it, and you can track maybe the way back of who these guys are. But I mean, I don't know. At the same time, they could have a ring of buddies that are going to use all of these things, and they're gone, right? They all know they're hot, so they're never going to return them for any work or anything like that, right?
Well, see, and that's the thing. So, what we can do is we can keep an eye on, like he said, those sites, and if we see anything suspicious or whatever, he's already said they've had a few. Now, let's be very clear, okay? He obviously had insurance on these machines, so he is not losing money off of this, okay? Obviously, but the point is that happened, and so like. It's our duty as detectorists and ambassadors of this hobby that we let people know that if something like that happens again, we are going to stand together and make sure that we do everything in our personal power to hold these thieves accountable for their actions. Yeah, I mean, I mean, it's only our duty, I think.
Yep. Yeah. Bring them up.
So, that's that. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And if anybody does know, contact that number or their page, Metal Detecting Stuff on Facebook, and give them a holler and let them know that you've seen something that may be suspicious. Because, like you said, Greg, these machines are being watched for now by the companies themselves. So, like, if they do try to return them or not return them, but register their machine, then that's fine. So they do, okay, say some guy unloads it on some unsuspecting guy, right? Well, that person's going to want to register his machine, and he's not going to know it's a stolen machine. He's not going to know.
Because, I mean, how many times do you see on, a marketplace or whatever, it's like, oh yeah, my wife bought this and I'm not into the hobby or blah, blah, blah. It's new in box. Right? That could very well be stolen. You never know.
You never know. And I'm not saying we should be suspicious of every post or everything that you see, but you can tell when somebody's put a suspicious post out there, I would think. So.
Yeah, especially Roger. He's got a few 600s and 800s for sale right now.
Yeah, I seen that, and I'm like, Roger, why would you put that in the chat when we're talking about busting this guy? We know you didn't do it, Roger, but oh Lord, that's something else, man. I just think that's something else. I don't know. I don't have a physical shop where I sell my metal detectors, but for people who do, that's got to be something to worry about, I guess.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Hey Andy, if I could tell you a quick story here. We had a guy, you talk about the detecting community coming together. We had one of our guys up here had his detector stolen out of his truck, and he put it out on Facebook, and we all started looking around, and lo and behold, somebody found it in the pawn shop. It was an AT Pro sitting in a pawn shop for like $250, and we're like, that's not right. And they tracked it down, and they saw who handed it in. And they wound up catching the guy.
That's good, and that's
put the word out there, and yeah, it's effective. It works.
And that's best case scenario. You know what I'm saying? That's best case scenario. The guy got caught, and the machine was returned, and everybody's happy. But that's not always the case to either, and that's what's sad. So a lot of these guys get away with this stuff, and we may never find a person who did it. They may never find a person who did it. Okay, but
yeah.
The message being sent to anybody that has anything to do with this hobby, or the guy who put these people up to it, the message is sent that we come together and we will, we're not going to allow that. As much as we can stop it, we will, So what was it last year or 2 years ago? There was a guy who was selling all those belts or pouches, digging pouches. Gave one to KG and Ringy and stuff like that, and he had all these orders. All these orders were coming in, and he just like dipped with everybody's money. Man, didn't give them.
I remember that. I remember that because then he got all this promotion from the ringmaster George there or whatever, and yeah, it just disappeared. That was a big deal for a little while.
Yeah, and what happened is we all came together. The guy's nowhere to be seen in the metal detector community anymore. That's for sure. But the other thing, the flip side of this is, so this guy starts wanting to sell his product, but nobody in the community thought to look him up. And once he did this, then people started looking this guy up. And come to find out, he was already a criminal thief. He was already a criminal. He'd already had a past with this type of criminal history. So, it's our duty to know who we're dealing with too. So, a simple internet search would have stopped any of that. Like a simple internet search, when that happened, would have been like somebody would have posted, "Hey, found this on the internet about this guy. Don't do business with him," and then nobody would have got screwed out of their money. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have been shared all across everywhere. So, I don't know. Yeah,
it's terrible that you can't trust anymore. A man's word used to be a man's word. Now it's nothing. All these millennials they'll turn around and stab you in the back. And it's not just millennials either, but it happens to all generations. But even Pop Can Dance generation.
Look, Roger Diddleberger said he got hit for $120 from him. He got hit. Roger tried to buy a pouch from him, lost $120, and that's what he was charging. And there was a long list of people at $120.
Well, and the thing is for his I'll call it a craft. Stuff like that takes time, right? So if someone sent me money tonight, sure, I could maybe print you a sticker, but when you're cutting and making stuff out of leather and stuff like that, it'll take time. So he could collect in a ton of money saying, "Oh, it's in the list," and not be making anything.
Oh yeah, there was a huge list. It was put up there. All these people signed a post on Facebook saying that they were on his list and lost that money, and it was a long list, like terrible.
Yeah, it's too bad.
So
I mean, if side hustles are cool, like if you want to cut grass for cash or something, go for it. Like I can't believe the people that just become a douche. Like honestly, if you want to make these awesome pouches, like make them, but just be upfront with people and actually produce stuff. You know what I mean? He could have made $1 million doing that. Had he
could have made a really good business out of it. Just let people know, hey, the waiting list is long, and it takes me this much time to make one, and I'll do it, and I'll make it. But you'll have to wait. No, it's coming. You know what I'm saying? Have people that you've actually sent it to vouch for you if that's going to be the case. Make a page, have it. There's ways around that. So, but it's just sad. Anyway, that's just sad. So,
all right.
Let's go ahead.
You know what? Let's move on to the code of ethics. I know Dan is a big fan of this.
Yes. Let's do that.
All right. So Dan, fill us in.
Yeah. So that's the biggest part of detecting for me, and you'll notice it in every video. All 2 of my subscribers see this.
I'm one of them.
Me too.
At the end of my videos, I always talk about the code of ethics because I see online all the time, man, and it's not even so much, talking about permissions, filling in your holes, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's all over the world, man. It's just online bullying too. It's just really bad. It's like I always go by this motto and say, if you can't say something good, don't say nothing at all. And I just find it's But the biggest part for me is definitely about permissions. Getting permissions. I hear it all the time. People online they're walking onto other people's fields. And, a very, very quick story I'll tell you. There's right up the road from me, 10 minutes up the road, there was a house from 1850s. And I've been looking at it like 20 years driving by. And finally, I got the courage up and I stopped in. And I asked, the guy came out and he goes, "What do you want?" And I'm like, "Oh, we're not off to a good start." So I said, "I'm looking, this is what I do." I explained myself, and this is what he said to me. He goes, "Why the F should I let you detect on my property?" And I'm like, "Oh, here we go, And I thought I was selling myself very well. And I said, "Is there something wrong?" And he said, 3 nights ago, I was sitting in my kitchen eating dinner, and I looked out my window on the front lawn, and there's 2 guys detecting right on my front lawn. So he goes outside and he says, "What are you guys doing?" And they said, "Oh, we thought this house was abandoned." And he goes, "Abandoned?" He goes, "I got 2 cars in the driveway." He goes, "I got a farm with horses out back." And they had the audacity to say to him, "Well, how about if we split 50-50 on anything we find?" And it's like, how about I call the police on you? And so what happened? This guy was so mad. I wound up having to apologize to this guy for some other people's idiocy. But I just hear about it way too much, And anyways, I didn't get the permission from that. The guy said, "No, get the hell out of here." But I didn't blame him personally.
Right.
I just hear about it all too much, And it's going to ruin the hobby if we don't start doing the proper code of ethics and asking proper for permission and things like that,
Most definitely. In your video today, you mentioned that at the end. That you need to, get proper permission. You're there because you're allowed to be there. You're not there because you are just metal detecting on somebody's land without their permission. And it's true. There's so many other code of ethics, but that one right there, that'll ruin the hobby for everybody.
That's the big. Like, I mean, it's hard enough to find places, and I mean. This is a small, little farming community here, and I mean, everyone knows everyone, and it's nuts because, if you piss off Farmer Fred, he's going to tell Farmer Joe about you. You know what I mean? The word gets around. So, if you're on one property, you're probably going to be told no on the next one. So you just, you got to behave and be respectful.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. That's a great point, man.
Yep.
Great point.
So what are some other code of ethics that say somebody out here is watching that don't know, or comes across a screen or stream and doesn't know, what else would we say?
Well, the three I always preach is definitely the permissions, filling in the holes. People are pretty good with that, but I think people need to be educated, though, especially there's so many. I think right now at this time, metal detecting is more popular than ever, and there's so many new people getting into the hobby, and I don't know if they're educated well. You can go on YouTube and find some videos about filling in holes, but I don't know if there's enough education out there for them. And they go into parks and they dig holes, and they think if they flip their plug back and they're good and they walk away, it still looks like a mess, And I just think people need to be a little more educated on, maybe take some gardening courses or something I think there needs to be more education out there for new people. And I was talking with one of our guys who owns a metal detecting store up here about the possibility of making some videos like that for new people that we can put on YouTube. And when they buy the detector, they say, okay, so we're going to refer you to these videos. Go watch them, and you'll get an understanding of And he even wanted to do a course with new detectorists who bought detectors. Like say on a Saturday morning, we meet somewhere in a park with a bunch of people, and we talk about it. We explain this is how we need to do it.
Yeah, it's a great idea, because I know, see, the hard part is you can pretty much, it's not as popular as it is in the States. Like, you can walk into Cabela's and buy a Garrett machine. Here, you have Canadian Tire or whatever, you're going to get a Bounty Hunter or whatever you want to buy there.
Technetics, yeah.
That's the thing. You could just go to the park straight from the store if you really wanted to. You know what I mean? I'm guessing a lot of kids get this stuff or whatever, and it's great the kids are going into it, but if you're oh, go have fun, kid, and mom and dad are just hanging out, they don't really care, right?
So
but I think that's where that thing would be helpful in a sense, is just because if it was sold at a reputable dealer, it could be that help. And, it could not even be just the basics of ethics. It could be tips on how to use a certain machine or something that someone would think, that's great. There's even a proper swing, make sure the coil is level, make sure you're not going up and down at the end of your swing, just basic stuff like that will increase your finds right there.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Garrett just put out a series, or is putting out videos on metal detecting basics. I don't know if digging a plug is going to be one of them. It sure seems like it would be a good topic. But Dan, here's an idea, and maybe take this back to that store owner, because as you were talking about it, obviously, I think that if it's so near and dear, which it is very important, but if it's near and dear to you, put out some videos, show some people how to dig some plugs, okay? But what you can take back to the owner of the shop, hey, I'm going to make a series of videos, informational videos, and instead of referring them to you, which is good that he can do that as well, but put them on replay on a picture, on a screen in your shop, just right there, right above some metal detectors. Show them how to dig a plug. Just let them play. I'm going to put a playlist of this many videos, whatever it is. How about, because you could do whatever, Hoover Boys or these or that, but if you have informative videos playing how to dig a proper hole, how to ask for permission, how to do all of it, then I think that the customer themselves walking into the store will get more value from that experience than a Hoover Boy episode. No offense, Hoover Boys are cool. That's not what I'm saying. Yeah. But what I'm saying is if you want to sell somebody a metal detector and knowing the code of ethics yourself, you should want to be able to promote that. Not just send them along their way and say, here's this, but hey, check that video out. You're new, right? Oh, this video right here, watch that, or just have it playing, and then if they're like, well, what's this? That could be a conversation starter in itself.
And then that's beauty. That turns into, here for $19.99, you can buy this beautiful DVD. And then Lucky and Dan is famous.
Jeez,
they're knocking at the door.
What a salesman, Greg! I love it.
But seriously, that's something. That's something that
Yeah. But and just the last thing, Andy, very quick is, you just mentioned about being good ambassadors to the hobby. I think everybody needs to step up to the plate and be the best that they can be, because like I said, I see a lot of grown men, women online just attacking each other for the silliest things, And I honestly say we need to praise each other for finds, Like Greg can attest. Greg's always like the first guy to mention something on my video, or if I post something on Facebook, I will immediately say something about Greg's picture he posts or his video. And I think we all need to do that. We all need to praise each other and be a really good brotherhood.
Well, it's funny because on that same topic, back to my coin or whatever. So my buddy Irvin posted a couple pictures on some, I'm guessing, UK coin page. And this one guy was like, for lack of a better term, complete asshole about it. And just being a douche. He said it was like, oh, it's completely fabricated. That wasn't found, blah, 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 blah. Just being a total dink about it. And he's like, honestly, we're trying to find out what this is. Like, if someone can send a picture, of this thing for sale at Walmart, we want to see it. You know what I mean? We don't have hammered coins here, really. So, I mean, we're asking the people that see them all the time. And this guy was just a complete dink. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it happens in every hobby, though. It's the same in the card community. I'm glad I've kind of got away from that, but, I mean...
There's trolls everywhere, man.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. There's sites on Facebook for people who calling out people who have fake finds, which, hey, I'm not going to be the first one to say I haven't thought about saying, hey, I want to do a segment on the show like, look at this fake find, or something, call people out. But it would totally be a terrible move and giving unnecessary attention to people who are screaming for it. So I wouldn't do that. But I think that there is a lot of bullying and stuff like that, and part of being a great ambassador to the hobby itself is actually going past that, and even if maybe the guy doesn't get attention, just thumbs up or just scroll by. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to stop. You don't have to be in, whatever. You just keep going. If you don't like it or you don't believe it.
Yeah. I guess one thing, too, I want to touch on while we're on the code of ethics is just, I guess it must depend on where you are. I know we talked about it on our little trial there last night about the use of digging equipment. Okay, so we'll watch a Chigger video or a Nugget or whoever else, and they'll just bust out a shovel on someone's lawn. And up here, oh no, it'd be insane. And we're all hand diggers up here on lawns. I mean, even my little leshy shovel, I only really use in pastures or long grass or the woods. And then if I'm in a farm field, I'll use a full-size shovel. But I find it insane. I know even here in town, last fall, somebody went on our soccer fields and baseball fields with a full-size shovel, left 150 crappy plugs all over the fields, wrecked the fields. And I had a buddy show up to hunt there with stuff, and the groundskeeper was there, and he started giving them crap, thinking it was them. And I know these guys, I know it wasn't them. So that is kind of whatever. And I mean, it's been a struggle. I was just waiting for the town to hand down a no detecting policy because of this. But it hasn't happened yet, thankfully. We've still been able to find some good stuff. I mean, it's just, you got to be responsible about that. And it reflects everyone, right? So that's what's odd now is I know, all the kids' soccer is starting up. And they needed to find some pins or whatever that were in the ground to set up the nets or something. And I was asked to go over there and do that. And I honestly said no because I didn't want to be over there with a detector and blamed for that. It's you got to pick your battles. I would love to help them, but I don't want to be the guy over there getting blamed.
Yeah.
Right.
And you said it right too. You said it right. If we don't are not mindful, that's where it'll go. Is we won't be able to metal detect in these places at all.
Well, it's even like my drone hobby now too. There's always things flying around airports and everything. It's getting more strict by the day, and it's continuing to happen. It's just getting outrageous. I can't believe people don't use their brain.
No. So, but. Yep, that's it. That's that. So, guys, make sure you dig your holes right. Make sure you ask for permission and be a great ambassador to the hobby. Seriously, it's a privilege that we get to metal detect in some of the places that we do. Don't screw it up for everybody else. That's that's what it boils down to. I don't want to go somewhere and be told I can't metal detect because some jackass didn't know how to and screwed it up for everybody else. So learn how to do it right, and be a good ambassador, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah, excellent, very well said.
Let's see. So, let's see.
Last topic. Last one.
Wow. The last topic. So we're gonna make this quick because we are running right at about an hour, and I don't want to push it too much. I don't want to push it over an hour. So, treasure in the news, guys. This was sent to me. Greg actually shared this with me. I was gonna do another treasure in the news, but this was more fitting because guess what? This is from the state I live in. So that's what that is.
When are we going?
So this is a story about a steamboat that that sank and through the sands of time was lost for years and years and years. And so this is the story, and I'm gonna run the newsreel because I can't say it nearly as well, and I wasn't gonna write all that stuff down, I promise. But let me get this open here, and this is actually a really cool. I didn't even know this, so this is pretty exciting. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Silly me. There it is. All right, there we go. Oh.
Coffee Mate.
You guys are gonna get a little
Coffee Mate is triple churned and 2 times
a commercial.
Hey, Coffee Mate isn't paying us any dividends for their advertising.
I couldn't get rid of it. I tried. I couldn't download it. I tried.
We'll give them a free one.
Missouri is home to a single 4-way stop and a lot of corn. But hidden in these fields is another kind of gold.
It's universal that people love a treasure hunting story.
David Holly is half steamboat historian, half treasure hunter.
Before I did this, my family ran the heating and air conditioning business.
His big find is the Arabia, the centerpiece of the Steamboat Museum in Kansas City's River Market. His latest quest is for an even greater prize, and he knew exactly where to start.
The only town I know of that was named for a steamboat.
The Malta sunk here in 1841 after snagging a tree in the Missouri River. It was loaded down with expensive trading goods.
These are national treasures.
Over time, the Missouri River moved and buried it.
People say, oh, I know where it's at.
Jim Backus owns 1,500 acres, right where the Malta sank 200 years ago.
We've had people out here looking for it.
I remember coming down and wondering, would it be in this field or in that field or maybe even in the river?
The only thing to do, break out the metal detector and start walking.
Great exercise.
Break it out, buddy.
It took a year and 300 miles before he got a strong hit.
That's pretty exciting stuff.
He brought in a drill and from 37 feet below ground pulled up 150 gold buttons, fabric, well-preserved ceramic, and a large iron hook.
I bet he didn't spend near the millions that Oak Island spent.
That was 2016. 3 years later, the Malta is still underground. The cost to dig it up, $3 million.
We've been working together on it for years to get it to this point.
The search now is to find a place to put the boat and the treasure inside.
If we can find and secure a location right now, we'll dig this next year.
The town of Malta Bend, Missouri has waited centuries to find its namesake and is eager to know and see the treasures contained below the surface.
That's as good a history as it gets.
William Joy, KMBC 9 News.
Yeah, that's absolutely awesome.
Honestly, if I were that guy, I would dig it up on my own expense, put it on my front lawn, and then charge admission and come see it.
I'm
just take me $3 million back.
So here's the thing. What is in that thing? What's in there?
Okay, like how does a core sample find 150 buttons? It must be loaded.
How big's the core sample?
They found it the whole time.
That's how big's this core sample? Because Oak Island's pulling out core samples that are like, like that. They're not. What is this? Like I don't understand because they can't.
Even so, though, they're not. These guys aren't dropping big canisters down into the ground. You know what I mean? Their core sample might be that big.
That's really cool, and those buttons looked pristine. They said they were wrapped in cloth. That's really cool. So they hit the mother load the first time they drilled a hole.
Watch, that'll be the only good thing on there. They dug up an old pile of wood for $3 million.
Oh Lord, that'd be terrible. Oh man.
So it's funny. I got a message from Mr. Redbeard. He was curious how we can type some savage stuff to Pop Can Dan on camera.
Yeah, you got to block him, Andy. Block him.
That's part of it.
We knew that was going to happen.
I didn't even know he was here. I haven't even seen him say hey or anything. So
I think he was out. He had something to do, but I think he wanted to get back in enough time to torture me. So.
Score.
Well, I guess, does anyone have any last minute questions for Pop Can Dan or anybody about detecting in general? I guess we'll end it on that note. We'll see what anyone has to say.
Sure.
There's a lot of LOLs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious about that boat. Like, how much is in it? Somebody said millions. Millions are in it.
Well, you're not too far. You go dig a couple test holes, I'll come down.
They told me, I'm sure it's protected. I'm sure that you can't
how
just
far are you from this place?
I don't know. I didn't even look it up. But he said this. He said it's in, what is it, Malta or whatever? Malta. I don't even know where that's at. I don't know where Malta is.
Well, your state isn't that big, right? It could fit inside Texas.
It could, yeah. I think almost half the United States could fit in Texas, though.
Yeah,
it's huge.
I've been there before. Everything is bigger in Texas.
Yeah, it's definitely huge. Does any have any digging rituals? Yep,
I go out, I find stuff, and I come home.
I don't.
You know what? I actually do. I have a song that I play every time I go out. I try to play this song, and I didn't mean to do it on purpose, but I started going out a few times, and I started playing this. The song was on a CD in my car, giving my age away. But I started going down. That's when I was going to this field and finding all these 1812 coins. And I said, I'm very superstitious. I used to be when I used to play baseball. I was very ritual oriented, and so I played the song again when I was going back to the field. I found more coins, and so after a while, the song dried up, but I still try to play it whenever I'm going out.
Hey, well, that's cool. I don't have anything like that. I just go,
Yeah.
I mean,
I think another ritual now is Redbeard and I have to throw grubs or worms at each other at least once while we're out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Whatever we find live in the ground, we throw at each other.
Yeah, you guys.
Roger just asked if we dig in the winter. I do. This year it froze up pretty solid though, so I wasn't able to.
Yeah, I seen some of that. You guys get some nasty cold. Like here, winter's not as nearly as bad. So digging here in the winter is probably just like midsummer for you guys or something.
Actually, I'll reveal a funny story about that. Actually, we were doing the filming for the Radio World Mine Lab contest, and the snow was starting to melt and whatever. So we're like, oh, all right, we'll hit the woods because usually the woods we can dig all year. We get there, Joe's like, oh, this looks like a good spot, we'll start detecting here. Well, he goes to jam a shovel in, and it bounced back at him. The ground was frozen. So what we did, the finds that we showed in the video, he had actually found with his mine lab, but we dug a hole. It honestly took two guys like 5 minutes, two shovels, mining down through this hard rock. And we spun the camera and used the same hole a couple times. To get the filming done. So It's always an adventure up here. You never know what you're going to get into.
Yeah, I've seen them. That's pretty nasty cold. We don't get it like that around here. No. So.
Who buries bananas in their hole?
Quarter hoarder puts a banana every place he goes. Or not every place, but when he goes out metal detecting, every time he eats a banana and he puts the peel in his first hole every time.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's gross.
He's actually helping the yard, Greg. You know.
Oh, I know. I'm sure it's great for the grass. I just really hate bananas.
Oh. Oh shoot! Oh man!
Well, so I have one more question. I guess it's a shot at embarrassing Mr. Popcan Dan here. Fill us in. Were you on TV for a dance or singing contest?
Oh my gosh! How do you know that?
I have a little birdie that told me.
Bugger! I bet you're talking to Redbeard privately. I bet.
Oh, probably every time.
Yeah. Okay, you got me guilty. I was on a TV show on Global TV. About 6 years ago. It was called Canada Sings. It was a singing it was a Glee singing competition where companies go up against other companies in a Glee singing competition on national TV. So I was on one of those teams.
Is this something that can be found on the internet right now?
It actually is. If you were to type in Go Glee, G-O, and then G-L-E-E, Go Glee, type in Go Glee, then Go Transit. That's the company I work for. It'll come up. You'll see stuff. So.
I can't get it on my screen right now. I don't have it set up. You're so lucky.
Yeah, the world almost just seen Popcan Dan. Let's sing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I had to do dance moves and everything. It was just like American Idol, like where you have to. It was a 1 full week where we worked with a vocal coach and a dance coach to put together this big routine.
That's awesome.
So did Howie Mandel give me the big X?
oh, and you know who the judges were? One of them was Vanilla Ice.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna find. I got a photo. I got a selfie with him. I'll find it and post it up on your page there, Andy. After.
Awesome. Do it. Do it. All right, guys. I'm gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here. It's been a great show. Hey, Dan, thank you so much for joining. Here's the thing, guys. Go over to YouTube, Popcan Dan. Give him a like, give him a subscribe, watch some of his videos. They're great. Him and DJ Redbeard go detecting together all the time, and Dan's really fun to watch. So go check that out. Greg, anything else you want to say?
No, just careful when you find a good cache. Check out what's in it before you get too excited.
All right, guys. So thanks for joining, guys. We'll see you next time. If you guys were so inclined and feel like you should subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.
All right. Peace.
Thanks so much, Andy. Thank you.
Yes, sir.